I got a message that we are live.
We're live.
Okay. All right, so it's 7:01. I'm going to call a meeting to order. Number 2 on the agenda is approval of the change in the meeting date. Is there anything on that one, Mary?
Sorry, my headphones are acting up.
Okay, so I need a mover and a seconder for this resolution. Councillor Castline, can you move this one, please?
Yes, I can.
Thank you. Councillor Cross, can you second this one, please?
Yes, I can.
Thank you.
Now therefore be it resolved that Council for the Corporation of the Municipality of Calvin hereby approve
September
29th, 2022.
Okay. Anybody have any opinions on this? Councillor Cross,
No.
Councillor Castline,
No,
Councillor Shipham.
No.
Okay, I'm going to call for a vote. Does everyone approve the change of the council meeting from the 27th to the 29th of September? Councillor Shipham,
Yes.
thank you. Councillor Cross,
Yes.
Councillor Castline,
yes,
and I do as well. So this resolution is carried. Next item on the agenda is approval of the agenda, number 3. And I'll need a mover and a seconder for this one as well. Councillor Cross, can you move this one, please?
Yes, I can.
Councillor Cross, can you second it, please?
No, I can't.
I didn't hear you.
I said, no, I can't because I moved it the first time.
Oh, shit. You moved it the first time. I asked Councillor Shipham to move this one.
No, he asked Councillor Cross.
Right.
That's okay. I'll second
Okay. Wait a minute. All right, whatever.
Now therefore be it
Okay.
resolved. Now therefore be it resolved that Council for the Corporation of the Municipality of Calvin hereby approve the minutes of the regular council meeting of September 13th, 2022.
that's the wrong resolution.
How is it the wrong resolution? We're approving the minutes from September 13th. That was the previous.
We're
Meeting.
supposed to be approving the agenda.
Oh, sorry. Now therefore be it resolved that Council for the Corporation of the Municipality of Calvin hereby approve the agenda as circulated.
Any opinion on this one? Councillor Cross,
No.
Councillor Castline,
No,
Councillor Shipham.
No.
Okay, so I'm going to call for a vote on the approval of this agenda. Councillor Castline, are you in favor of this? Yes or no?
yes,
Councillor Shipham,
Yes.
Councillor Cross,
Yes.
I am as well, so this resolution is carried. Next item on the agenda is number 4, declaration of disqualifying interest. Does anyone have any written disclosure of pecuniary conflict of interest tonight? Councillor Shipham,
No.
Councillor Castline,
no,
Councillor Cross.
No.
Okay, thank you. Item number 5 is next, and it's approval of the minutes of the most recent meeting, which is September 13th, 2022. I'll need a mover and a seconder for this. Counselor Castelline, can you move this one, please?
Yes.
And Counselor Shipman, can you second it, please?
yes,
Thank you.
Now therefore be it resolved that council for the corporation of the municipality of Calvin hereby approve the minutes of the regular council meeting of September 13th, 2022.
Any opinions? Counselor Castelline,
No, it is exactly as I remembered. Thank you.
Counselor Shipman,
no,
Counselor Cross.
No.
Okay, so I'm going to call for a vote on to approve the council meetings from September the 13th, 2022. Are you in favor of approving these, Counselor Cross?
Yes.
Counselor Shipman,
yes,
and Counselor Castelline?
Yes.
And I am as well. So this resolution is also carried. Next item on the agenda is item number 6, which is council direction from the previous meeting, so September the 13th, 2022, and there were none. Next item on the agenda is item number 7, is delegation, and tonight we have Mr. Sean Flindell to provide a report on the employee benefits package. Good evening, Sean.
Hi, everybody. How's everyone?
Good.
Good to see everyone. I'm going to give you my my 4 or 5 high-level bullet points here so that you have a good handle on what's happening here with the employee benefits renewal, and then we can have a chat about it when we're done. And if anybody's like me and you have a bit of deja vu, that's justified because last year we had a very similar conversation on September 26th, I think it was. So if you're feeling deja vu, that's maybe why. I've managed this plan for you for about 20 years. And for 18 of those years, the premium was very, very consistent. And in the employee benefits world, claims, drug and dental claims, drives premium. So when you have real good consistency in premium, it means you've had very good consistency in claims. And for 18 years, we've had really good consistency. We might have seen a 2% increase and then a 3% decrease and a 1% increase and a 5% decrease. It's been very, very consistent for a long period of time. So when claims go down, your premium goes down. When claims stay the same, your premium stays the same. And unfortunately, when claims go up, your premium goes up. And so the bad news here is that last year we saw a 15% increase in premium. And this year we're seeing a 12% increase in premium, which equates to about $10,000 a year in increased premium over the past couple of years. So the reason for that, on the drug side, we've gone from a very consistent $3,000 or $4,000 of claims each year to today about $9,000 or $10,000 in annual claims. And on the dental side, we've gone from a very consistent $1,000 or $2,000 in annual claims to $3,000 or $4,000 in annual claims. So drugs has almost doubled, drugs has almost tripled, dental has almost doubled. And if we take everything into account, physiotherapy, all claims, even that outside of drugs and dental, we've gone from a very consistent level of around $7,000 in annual claims to now $14,000 or $15,000 in annual claims. So that increase in claims demands an increase in premium. Your premium for the drug and dental portions, the health and dental portions, is around $16,000, and your claims are now $14,000 or $15,000. So we're at 90% premiums versus claims, and insurance carriers look for 70%. So they want about 30 cents for expenses and profit. And they're not getting that anymore. They had been getting it for the first 18 years, but they're not getting it anymore. So this year, they requested a 30% increase in premium, which quite honestly was justified. I spent a lot of time negotiating with them on that and got them down to 20 and got them down to 16 and got them down finally to a final of 12% for an increase. So that's a tough pill to deliver and a tough pill to swallow. It was about a $5,000 increase last year and about a $4,500 increase this year. Again, purely driven by really significant claims increases. So we had a conversation last year about where is this going to go, and you know, my comment, I guess, is the same as my comment last year, which is, you know, if we level out at this number, then, you know, we're going to level out at this higher premium. If claims go back down, I mean, it's possible that there's been an employee or a dependent with some unusual needs in the past couple of years, and maybe that'll go away. And in which case we would see a premium decrease. But assuming, you know, we've got 2 years of trend on this and 2 years now of consistency in these this higher level of claims, that tells me that it's probably not going to go away. And that tells me that our premium is probably justified at the higher amount. That said, if claims go down, premium will go down as well. But 2 years of consistency at these higher numbers tell me otherwise. We did do a full RFP 2 years ago. So we did an RFP prior to these increases in claims. So we did an RFP when we had really good consistency, and Canada Life was still the winner. We marketed it to every single carrier in Canada, and Canada Life was still the winner. They've really been great to deal with for your municipality. And certainly over the last 2 years with these increases, they've been very good to deal with. They've been very willing to negotiate. And, you know, that's partly because we've been with them for so long. And for those first 18 years, I think they were probably able to put a few dollars in the reserve. Insurance companies do that with employee benefits. In good years, they'll set money aside so that in bad years, they can draw on that. And so that's partly the reason why we're able to get them down from their requested 30% increase to 12%, because they have set some reserves aside over those good years. So that's worked in our favor for sure. And certainly it tells me that it was a good thing we didn't switch carriers a couple of years ago, because if we had, and then our claims went up and the insurance carrier had no reserves, we would have been in a real pickle. But Canada Life has been really great to deal with on these increases. So we are in a position for the second year in a row that we're looking at double digits in terms of an increase. And we're looking at, as I said, about 5,000 last year and about 4,500 this year. The positive side of that is, honestly, we went 18 years with virtually no increases on that premium. Like I say, maybe up 2% and down 5% and up 3% and down 1%. So we've had a pretty good run on the balance sheet and expense list for the employee benefits. But that's not to minimize the increases from last year and this year. That new rate goes into effect on October 1st. Comments and questions?
Councillor Castellan.
Sean, do you have any comparison to other municipalities if they're facing a similar hefty increase, or whether it is lower for them or maybe even higher for them?
Yeah, great question. It is not a, it's employee benefits is not sort of an umbrella thing. So other municipalities, some have had claims increases, which leads to premium increases, and some have had claims decreases, which have led to premium decreases. So there isn't any consistency through municipalities, and I handle the employee benefits and pension work for a lot of municipalities. There's no real consistency. It really comes back to individual claims for the employees in the individual municipalities and townships. Unfortunately, we've seen a big increase in claims, but I wouldn't say that that's consistent across the board. No, I wouldn't say that that is being seen everywhere. That I would say no, that would not be the case. Yep.
Is this 12% increase the highest, or is there other municipalities that have even a higher number?
I have delivered terrible news as high as 30 and 40% sometimes to other municipalities. I've also delivered great news of, minus 12 and minus 14% over the years as well. So, quite honestly, last year was 15 and this year is 12. Inflation on health and dental alone typically runs 8 or 9%. So I would say an average employee benefits renewal that I see within municipalities and townships and other industries, I probably see an average increase annually of probably 6 or 7%. So you're not way out of that range, and certainly given 18 years of real good consistency, over the course of 20 years, your premium is probably up, 15 or 18% over 20 years, which is unheard of. In most cases over the course of 20 years, lots of places would see their premiums double. So comparatively, Calvin is really in good shape over the long term. Again, that's not to minimize the dramatic increases of last year and this year, but over the long term, Calvin is really in good shape from a premium perspective.
Thank you.
Any opinion, Councillor Cross?
No, he pretty much covered everything that I was thinking of. So thank you for coming to the meeting.
Councillor Shipham?
No.
So would you recommend that we stay with this company, Sean?
Yeah, my recommendation would be that. I mean, we could do another RFP. The challenge with that is that if we do an RFP now, it's not a great story to tell. When we did the RFP a couple of years ago, we had a great story to tell. And if we did one now with 2 years of quite significant claims increases, there would not be a lot of interest, and the interest that was out there would the numbers would not be great. In my experience, it's kind of like trying to insure a house when it's already on fire, sort of thing. There's not a lot of great interest out there. So my recommendation would be to stick with Canada Life at this point. I don't think we'd see any other takers, just because of the nature of claims in the last couple of years. I think once we get back on a consistent track, whether it's consistent at this new high level or consistent, however, then I think, it's always good due diligence to do an RFP every 4 or 5 years, which we've always done for Calvin. So let's get back into some consistency so that we've got a consistent story to tell when we do an RFP, and then we'll start into that again. I don't like saying this, but I don't think we have a lot of options available to us right now.
Okay, thank you.
And it's And again, it's not a terrible story, long term, it's not a terrible story, but I think Canada Life is probably our best bet right now for sure.
Okay, thanks.
Maybe someday we'll get back to those -3s and -5s, and I'll come and join you for a good news conversation as opposed to these tough ones.
Yeah, I know all insurance has been going up. So.
It's been a tough few years for sure, no question.
Okay, thank you very much.
Okay, gang, thanks so much. We'll talk soon.
Okay, bye now. Okay, I'm gonna put on my glasses again. Okay, so I'm gonna need a mover and a seconder for this, please. Councillor Castline, can you move this one, please?
Yes, I can.
Councillor Cross, can you second it, please?
Yes, I can.
Are you there, Mary?
She's having troubles with her microphone. You might have to
Okay.
read it.
Can you
I just-
hear me?
Now we can,
Oh.
yes.
So now therefore be it resolved, Council for the Corporation of the Municipality of Calvin hereby approve and accept to renew the employee benefits on October 1st, 2022.
Okay, any further opinions on this, Councillor Castline?
No, I think that Sean made a pretty good case, and I had to renew my own insurance just a month ago, and indeed it went up quite considerably,
Yeah,
even if I have no claims. So I'm not surprised about the increase. So no further comments.
okay. Councillor Shipham,
No comments.
Councillor Cross?
My only concern is with this raise, was it accounted for in the budget? Not knowing that it was going to be so much more and going off the old numbers, I'm hoping that it was accounted for in the budget.
I hope that it was, but we have to have insurance, whether we allocate it from another part of the budget or not. So I'm going to bring this to a vote on whether to proceed with this. Are you in favor of proceeding, Councillor Cross?
Yes.
Councillor Castline?
Yes.
Councillor Shipham?
Yes.
I am as well. So this resolution is carried, and thank you very much. Excuse me. Next item on the agenda is 8A. Consent agenda includes items of correspondence not requiring administrative reports or actions, committee reports, and not requiring any action by council, or matters that are for informational purposes only, and there are none. Item B is bylaws for consideration, and there are none. Item C is public hearings, planning zone matter, and we're provided with a draft zoning bylaw amendment, bylaw 2022-056. Okay, so I'm going to need a mover and a seconder for this one as well. Councillor Shipham, can you move this one, please? Yes? Okay, and Councillor Cross, can you second it, please?
Yes.
Thank you.
Now therefore be it resolved that bylaw 2022-056 being a bylaw to adopt the proposed amendment to zoning bylaw 2002-19 be read a first time this 29th day of September.
All right. Any opinion on this? Councillor Cross?
I just wanted to make sure, and I spoke with Mr. Conrad, that he had gone over this very intently with Colleen, and that he actually added a couple of things into it, and he's fine with the amendment and the way it sits now. So I'm feeling confident that this is a good amendment.
Okay. Counselor Shipham?
No, I don't have anything further to add to what Councillor Cross said. I think if our building inspector agrees with it, then it should be a good document and a good amendment.
Okay. Counselor Castelline?
No, if the chief building official is in agreement with that, and he has been involved from the beginning with the zoning bylaw, then I have nothing further to add, except for the text of the resolution. It should say the proposed amendment to zoning bylaw 2022-19.
Cool. Thank you.
That's it. Thank you.
Okay. Okay, so I think the amendment is pretty good. And the planner, Colleen, has told them that, and she can explain it further to them. So I'm going to call for a vote on this resolution. It's actually, it's a bylaw. So Councillor Castelline, do you vote to accept this amendment? Yes or no?
This is the first reading. Yes.
Yes. And Councillor Cross
Yes.
and Councillor Shipham,
Yes,
and I vote yes as well. So this first reading is carried. Thanks, everyone. Next item on the agenda is item 8D, and it's committee internal and external reports. And I don't know if we have any or not. I don't believe we do.
No.
Next item on the agenda after that says it's 8, but it's probably 9. Administrative matters, and there's none. Then after that, we have leadership issues. And under that, number 1 is direction to amend the procedure bylaw. I need a mover and a seconder for this. Councillor Shipham, can you second this one, please?
move it.
Yes, please.
Yes,
And Councillor Castelline, can you second it, please?
Yes, I can.
Thank you.
Now therefore be it resolved that Council for the Corporation of the Municipality of Calvin hereby give direction to E4M to revise and amend the procedural bylaw.
Okay, thank you. Any opinions on this? Councillor Castelline?
Yes, I'm extremely hesitant to enter into an agreement that current council can finish in this short term that we have left. I think it is something that next council should undertake, and we should leave it to after 24th of October. That's my honest opinion. I don't think we can in this short period of time finish this when we started. I just don't see it. So no, I'm sorry.
Councillor Shipham?
has this not already been in the works to be amended, and we have like some type of draft of it already?
I remember talking about this a long time ago, and there was a number of bylaws that we needed to amend or bring up to current standards. And that was, I believe, with the original 4 councillors. Okay. And E4M has been working on that That's my understanding. Peggy, would you have anything to offer on that?
Absolutely, if I might, Your Worship.
Please.
So this is an item that was on Cindy's to-do list when she left. It's my understanding that council has an old bylaw. Cindy attended, or maybe it was Linda before her, attended a workshop that E4M and Wishart Law did, where you received a new draft of a more modern bylaw. And council had made some changes. And I couldn't find any information in the file beyond that as to what the changes were, other than that there was this thick document of the different bylaws and says needs to go to council in March. Well, we had too much stuff on the plate to deal with this until this time, and I wanted to know if council still has an appetite to finish the work they've started. If not, we'll devote our efforts to other things. This was an item that was on council's to-do list.
Thank you. Councillor Cross, your opinion.
I do recall, I think it was either April of 28th of 2020 or October 8th of 2020 that we had an educational presentation done by E4M, and they did come to our meeting with a full page of outdated bylaws, some which of the wording was wrong, or I believe they said they couldn't maybe even not be legal, and that the council, not this council, the two councillors that weren't present, the other councillors, we all did agree to pay to have all of those bylaws updated. One of my questions tonight was how many of them have been done, because I do believe there was a price tag on how much it was going to cost and how many. I can't remember how many they were. I looked through my files diligently. I couldn't find the actual paper that said how many. So I would like to know how many of them have been done, that were checked off. I'm sure Peggy would have had the list. And if so, was this one part of that list? And will this one be done before the election is my question.
If I might respond, Your Worship.
Yes, please.
So I think Councillor Cross is confusing the HR bylaw and the policies that there were 38 policies incorporated in the HR bylaw that the municipality agreed to work with E4M on as a pilot project. There were 10 municipalities altogether.
Yes.
And the last one that has to come to the table is the workplace harassment and violence policy, and that we call it a respectful workplace policy. And it will be coming to the first meeting in October for council to review and hopefully to pass at the second meeting in October. The procedure bylaw was a workshop that was held by Wishart and E4M, and some of your staff attended, and they got a draft document, and it was a work in progress. So this is something council has been working on for some time now. We just wanted to know if council still wanted to complete this, knowing that the term is coming up, and again, do we put some effort behind it? The procedure bylaw, to me, is one of the most important documents that a municipality has. It tells everybody how council is going to conduct business at their meetings. It's important that it be legal and that it follow the role and responsibility of council. The other thing I really encourage is that it actually be written in English and not Robert's Rules of Order. Although Robert's rules are somewhat followed, it talks about how things will happen and all of that. My concern at the moment in terms of not doing it is when COVID became a thing, the province of Ontario allowed municipalities under a special provision of an act or regulation to have council meetings done electronically, and for council to be able to participate in closed electronically. Up to that point in time, a member of council or two members of council could participate electronically, but a quorum of council had to be in chambers. This was allowed during the COVID experience, and subsequent to that, the province has allowed councils to continue this practice. And I think council's new bylaw needs to be solidified to allow for this. And it would be my recommendation that you would have a hybrid model where council could indeed be in chambers, and that your meetings would be live streamed to YouTube, regardless of whether or not all of council is in the room.
Thank you.
And sorry, Your Worship, I had one last thing to continue. There are other bylaws that need to be amended, Councillor Cross, but they're not on my list.
Councillor
My
Shipman?
question also was that would it be done before the next, before the election?
My proposal, sorry, I forgot that part, Councillor Cross. My proposal is to have it for your next meeting in October, if council can recall all of the changes that they recommended, and if we can locate that information. My understanding is that there is a draft that all we have to do is find the one that's the most current working document.
Councillor Shipman?
Is there items in the procedural bylaw that we have right now that are against the law, skirting the law, whatever, that need to be changed, like immediately? Like, is that a thing?
If I might, Your Worship.
Yes, please.
So the procedure bylaw is council's rules on how council is going to behave. Most of the procedure bylaws, when they were developed, that was prior to the municipalities being required to have a code of conduct. And the procedure bylaws that have been updated since often refer to the fact that the decorum at the meeting is predicated on the code of conduct, rather than having a code of conduct buried in the meeting processes. Because when it is buried in the processes, then you could have two conflicting policies out there, a policy for behavior generally and a policy that's different for your behavior at meetings. And so it's important that those two policies be consistent.
All right, thank you. I'm going to call this item to a vote then, whether to proceed with the amendments to the procedural bylaw or not. Councillor Castellan, are you in favor of proceeding with this? Yes or no?
Considering my previous comments and my fear that if we continue that it may be a rushed document, my vote is no.
Okay. Councillor Cross.
I agree with Councillor Castellan. No, I don't want to. Thank you.
Councillor Shipham.
Well, I agree that they've both made valid points. I believe that we should continue and to have it so that everything is the same and there's no what was the word you used, Peggy? Misunderstanding between two different policies and bylaws.
So are you saying you're?
Yes.
Yes, okay. I think we should proceed with it as well, because I know there was some items that everyone agreed that needed to be updated in the old procedural bylaw. But looks like we're hung here, and I'm not sure what happens when, I think it's defeated when it's tied, because it didn't pass, right? So this one here is not going to pass. Right, thanks, everyone.
Can we bring it back, or can it be brought back to the new council?
That will be up to the new council, right?
That's what I mean, yes.
We've turned this one down. We said, no, we don't want to do it.
Not now.
Next item on the agenda is a direction to amend the shit.
I think iron is frozen. Oh, there he is.
Yeah. I'm gonna try to log in differently.
Can you see us, Mayor Pennell?
Uh,
We can hear you.
I'm trying, you can hear me? Now
Yes.
you can hear me again?
Yes.
I was just gonna try to log in with my phone. Can you still see me?
Yep.
Okay. Okay, so if this doesn't work, we'll see. Okay. Okay, so I need a mover and a seconder for this one. Councillor Castlein, can you move this one, please?
Yes, I can.
Councillor Cross, can you second it, please?
Yes.
Thank you.
Now therefore be it resolved that Council for the Corporation of the Municipality of Calvin hereby resolve that E for M provide a report to Council detailing charges incurred, investigation, education, and office help.
Okay,
That's not the correct resolution, Mary.
Yeah, I just realized that. They're just, sorry, they're out of order for some reason.
okay, so we had Councillor Castlein move this one.
Yeah.
And we had Councillor Cross second it.
Now therefore be it resolved that Council for the Corporation of the Municipality of Calvin hereby give direction to E for M to revise and amend the record retention bylaw.
All right. I believe we currently save records for like ever. And it's not feasible to do that any longer. There has to be some kind of a time limit on it. Okay, what's your opinion on this, Councillor Castlein?
Well, it is a little bit like the previous resolution. And again, I think that this current council cannot finish once we started in the short remaining time that we have before the election. And on top of that, I think that since there's only 2 weeks until the next meeting, and that's the last meeting, by the way, there is not enough time to search if there is a grant available to do this. And also, I think it should also be extended to digitize our records. And there must be some kind of grant available from the provincial government to do that, because it could be very expensive. The benefit, of course, is once everything is digital, that looking up records would be very simple. And I think that is again something that next council must undertake, and we should not in the short time that we have left load not only ourselves but also the office staff up with projects that cannot be finished. That's my opinion.
Thank you. Councillor Cross.
I agree with Councillor Castellan as well. I don't want to see this go forward. Thank you.
Councillor Shipham.
I don't believe that this council should basically quit working because we only have 2 meetings left. There's still work that needs to be done. There's still things that need to happen. And I believe that we should continue to put items forward, and whether it makes it to the 3rd reading or not, new council can come in and say, okay, scrap it or continue on with it or change it however which way they want. But I believe that we should continue to move forward with making changes to upgrade Calvin's bylaws and policies.
Okay, thank you. My thoughts on this is, if we're not going to do anything, you might as well just hang up the phone now and go to bed, right? Because what's the use of coming out and spending the time at these meetings if we're not going to bring anything forward to work on anything? So I'm going to bring this to a vote.
Actually, Your Worship, if I might interject before you bring
Okay,
it to a vote.
please. Okay.
Thank you. First of all, I want to explain to council why I brought this to the table. Barbara Major and I went in to work with Mary and Teresa to organize the municipal records so they could find stuff. And there's stuff that's being kept in your municipality that is inappropriate to be kept. The current retention bylaw doesn't cover a lot of the things that you're keeping. It doesn't cover council emails, which are all municipal records and need to be kept. It doesn't cover staff emails. It doesn't cover the COVID forms that you were collecting and keeping, and how long do we keep them and retain them for. And this is kind of like medical information that is something that the municipality ought not to keep unless, beyond its useful time period. And the clerk of the municipality has no authority to destroy a record without the approval of council. And so my proposal is to bring council a modern retention bylaw that says, here's kind of the direction that we give you. You keep your mandatory records. There are certain things that you cannot destroy. Minutes, bylaws, some of the financial records are kept forever. But then everything else has a shelf life. And the Municipal Act requires that the municipal auditor approve it, whatever the retention periods are for certain things. And it was a concern to me because there were things that were kept in, I just go back to the COVID forms. That was the one that really came to my mind, that those things should only be kept for the period of time that they're useful for. And if it was a 2-week period, after 2 weeks, they should have been destroyed and not still be hanging around the municipality. Anyways, that was the rationale for bringing it to the table. And there are 3 council meetings left. This is not a big consideration for council once you see the law behind it. And the reason I'm putting it on the table, I would have brought you the entire bylaw, but I thought I don't want to waste my time preparing it if it's not something council is willing to entertain. But I just wanted to give you the background as to why it felt urgent to me to bring it to the table now. Thank you, Your Worship.
Thank you. Okay, as I was going to do, I'm going to bring it to a vote. Councillor Castellan?
Sorry, no.
Okay, Councillor Cross?
No.
Councillor Shipham?
Yes.
I vote yes as too, but this resolution is defeated. Thank you. Next item on the agenda is a motion from Councillor Cross. Okay, so need a mover and a seconder on this one, please. Councillor Shipman, can you move this one, please? And Councillor Castelline, can you second it, please?
Yes.
Thank you.
Now therefore be it resolved that council for the corporation of the municipality of Calvin hereby resolve that E for M provide a report to council detailing charges incurred, investigation, education, and office help.
Thank you. Councillor Castelline, looking for your opinion. Any opinion?
Yeah, I would like to know what you have spent so far, although the money has already dispensed, so yeah.
Okay.
I think we should have a general idea of what is being paid to our service providers. Normally, we would get a trial balance every 3 months, and we haven't been provided those where it might be available. But yeah, that's one of the things that we get. And I'm sure that not only I, but also others that we get from people in our constituents that are asking, well, how much are you guys spending? And I have no answer for that. So that's why I think it might be a useful tool to be informed about that. Thank you.
Councillor Shipham.
Yeah, I think it would be a good idea to see what we've paid for and what has been given freely. I think that would be a good idea.
Thank you. Councillor Cross.
Yeah, not much more to say to it, just that with us coming to the end of our this term and possibly new council coming in, I'd like to know if there's any outstanding invoices, basically, a end to this term and a start to the next term, so they know, where everybody stands. Also to see how much was given by E for M as the educational part and their time spent and the value of it. I'd like to have an analysis of that if we can. Thank you.
Okay. I think we might be surprised about all the services that E4M has provided for us. So I kind of look forward to that so that everybody can just be aware of what we have received from E4M. And personally, I think they've been pretty generous. But anyway, so I'm going to call this to a vote. Councillor Castelline, are you in favor of moving ahead with this?
Yes, I am.
Okay, Councillor Shipham,
Yes.
Councillor Cross,
Yes.
and I vote yes as well. So this resolution is carried. Thank you, everyone. Next item on the agenda is moving into a closed session. So I'll need a mover and a seconder for this. Councillor Cross, can you move this one, please?
Yes.
And Councillor Shipman, can you second it?
Yes.
Thank you.
Now therefore be it resolved that council for the corporation of the municipality of Calvin hereby move into closed session at 7:55 p.m. pursuant to Section 239 of the Municipal Act to consider as follows. Pursuant to Section 239B, personal matters about an identifiable individual, including municipal board employees. D, labor relations or employee negotiations. E, litigation or potential litigation, including matters before administrative tribunals affecting the municipality or local board. And F, advice that is subject to solicitor-client privilege, including communications necessary for that purpose to discuss. 1, the lone legal matter. 2, order from the Ministry of Labor. 3, treasurer position. 4, clerk position for the purpose of a legal matter, property matter, human resource matter, and education and training.
Okay. So I'm going to, anyone have any opinion on this? Counselor Castelline,
No.
Counselor Cross,
No.
Counselor Shiplin.
No.
Okay, so I'm going to call for a vote to move into closed session this time. Are you in favor, Counselor Shiplin?
Yes.
Counselor Cross,
Yes.
Counselor Castelline?
Yes.
I am as well, so we'll move into closed session at this point.